For thousands of years, people have asked the same question: did the Trojan War truly happen, or was it only a powerful legend shaped by poets? The story begins in the Bronze Age, a world of kingdoms, sea routes, palaces, merchants, and rival powers moving across the Aegean and Anatolia. Troy stood near a strategic passage between seas, a fortified city watching ships, trade, and armies pass through one of the ancient world's most valuable crossroads. Long before it was written down, the tale lived in memory, songs, and oral tradition, where real events and myth slowly became inseparable. In myth, the chain of disaster begins with Paris, a Trojan prince asked to judge between goddesses and choose the fairest among them. His reward was Helen of Sparta, remembered as the most beautiful woman in the Greek world, and soon her name became tied to the greatest war in legend. Some versions say Helen was taken by force, while others suggest she left willingly. Either way, her journey to Troy ignited a story of honor, power, and revenge. Menelaus, king of Sparta, saw the loss of Helen as an insult that could not be ignored, and his anger became a call for justice. Across the Greek world, rulers and warriors gathered: Agamemnon, Odysseus, Achilles, and many others, united by oaths, ambition, and the promise of glory. The Greek fleet set sail across the Aegean, turning a personal crisis into a massive expedition against the powerful city of Troy. When the Greeks reached the coast, Troy did not fall quickly. Its walls were strong, its defenders prepared, and the war became a long struggle. The siege was not one endless battle. It was years of waiting, raiding, hunger, supplies, negotiations, and sudden moments of violence outside the city walls. Among Troy's defenders, Hector stood as the city's strongest shield, a prince, warrior, and family man carrying the hopes of his people. Among the Greeks, Achilles became the symbol of unmatched strength, a warrior whose anger, pride, and destiny shaped the heart of the epic. For these heroes, honor was everything. A name remembered after death could matter as much as victory itself. The duel between Achilles and Hector became the emotional center of the legend, a meeting of two champions beneath the walls of Troy. Hector's fall was more than a military loss. It was a human tragedy, leaving Troy wounded, afraid, and closer to its final collapse. As the war dragged on, both sides suffered. The real story of Troy may have been less like a single heroic battle and more like a long, exhausting conflict. Then comes the most famous image of all, the wooden horse, left outside the gates as a strange gift and remembered as the trick that ended the war. In the legend, Troy opened its gates at night, and the city that had resisted for years finally fell in fire, fear, and confusion. But was the horse real? Some historians see it as a symbol, perhaps a siege machine, a religious offering, or a poetic invention added to an older memory. Archaeology shows that a city called Troy did exist, with layers of walls, destruction, rebuilding, and evidence of conflict in the region. What probably happened was a real Bronze Age struggle over trade, power, and control, later transformed into one of the greatest epics ever told. The Trojan War still lives because it stands between history and myth, reminding us how love, pride, war, loss, and memory can turn human events into legend. Subscribe to the channel and join the History Storytellers for cinematic history documentaries and journeys into the past.